Hello, I'm Carwyn Jones, and welcome to this series of podcasts where I interview the movers and shakers in the Welsh economy. What makes them tick? What's their business like now? And how do they see themselves and Wales in the future? It's a very great pleasure today to be welcoming Rachael Flanagan. Rachael is the Managing Director of Mrs. Bouquet Cleaning Services. Rachael, you're very welcome on the podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. What we find, Rachael, is that people like to know a little bit more about the person who's being interviewed, where they're from, and their journey towards the business that they're involved in now. So you're originally from Pontarddulais, is that right?
Yes, that's right. I'm a Bont girl at heart.
Bont, okay, and Pontarddulais Comp, Gosainen College?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So you find yourself in Gosainen College, doing A-levels at that point?
Yeah.
But your mind was on a different route, would that be fair?
Yeah, to be honest, it kind of started when I was a lot younger. I think like any, when you're going through sort of change in, schools and colleges and sometimes being pushed down the university route, I never really felt comfortable going that route, but I didn't have any other options. So I kind of went with the flow really and followed the crowd. So when I was younger, I used to swim for Wales. So as my parents would say, that's where my competitive nature came from. Also at the age of 7, I had a little shop in my house where I'd put a sign outside my parents' street every day to pretend to get my customers in, but really my mates would just come into the sweet shop. So at a young age, I always wanted to graft, to be honest. I always wanted to understand how to make money. And, I always had that determination and that outlook on life. And when I was sitting my A-levels in Gosainen College, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. One minute I was going to be a nurse, teacher, doctor, the usual. And then I decided to do a fast track in business, and that's when I had the idea of starting up a cleaning company. So I was leaving Gosainen College a little bit earlier at certain times of the day, as probably typical 18-year-olds do, bombing back home in my KA at the time, and I could see my mum's cleaner was leaving early. So my mum would pay for 4 hours. I was coming back after 2, and I could really see that the impact of what she wasn't doing was having on the household. So that's where I came up with the idea, thinking there must be loads of other mums and families out there that are struggling and really, need that help, and it's okay to have that support as part of your lifestyle. So I kind of started with 20 quid, wrote my business plan in when I was actually sitting my business A-levels, and just went for it, really. You
wrote your business plan in the exam?
Yeah, so I know it probably isn't the right thing to say, but yeah, I had 2 hours of free time, and I was so excited and passionate to start up this cleaning company, which I didn't know the name at the time, that I just started to write about it there and then. Still to this day, I've never gone and picked up my certificates, but it was it was fun times.
So there you are, you're a teenager with 20 quid in your pocket, with a business idea, and now, of course, here we are in 2020 with Mrs. Bouquet. How did you start? There'll be lots of people out there saying, well, hang on a second, how did she begin that business with just £20 in her pocket?
Yeah, so £20 doesn't really go a long way.
Not even that.
But I literally had no money. I had no money. I was living at home. I didn't have any assets or anything like that in my name, so I couldn't borrow any money. So for me, I spent 20 quid on black and white little flyers, got a little logo made up by a friend, and I literally just started flyering people's homes. We're now a fully commercial cleaning company, but then we were just the domestic market. And it kind of grew, to be honest, from there. I just waited for the calls to come in. I was very nervous. All my friends were off going to university and moving away, and I was going to stay in Pontarddulais to set up this business, and I had, sort of big hopes and dreams for it. But it was definitely the right thing to do. Where we now have over 250 staff, over £3 million business, and we're growing at a very fast rate now over the next couple of years. It's an exciting journey to be on.
And it all started in 2005, is that right?
2005, yes. So it's 14 years now it's been going.
So you got the flyers.
Yeah.
What sort of response did you get at that point?
So to begin with, it was very quiet, and then after a while, then the phone started to go and started to clean for people's homes.
So you were cleaning?
I was cleaning,
right,
yeah.
okay.
I cleaned for about 4 to 5 years. So that's what I would do. So how I actually grew the business was I would get the clients in by flyering, referrals, that type of, it was very direct mail stuff. And then I would, at a point then, when I was about 20, 21, I was employing about 15 members of staff. But how I would train them was I would double them up with me. When they were good enough, then they would also then go and have their own round. So that's how I could scale it from nothing, I suppose. And then we had like a really key sort of point in the business, which I was 21, and I met a business mentor who really believed in me and sort of said, you're 21, you're employing 16 members of staff. And do you know when like just someone believes in you and you needed that to happen at that point in your life? And he entered me into the FSB UK Young Entrepreneur Awards. And it was an amazing experience. We actually won that out of 1,500 people up in London in Claridge's. And that was when that night for me was, a massive thing where I absolutely believed in myself then, that I belonged, I suppose, in the business world, because I felt really young. So yeah, it was exciting because we were being recognised. Press was going, all over the place, and that's then how I started to grow the business more then, and then eventually go into the commercial market.
Yeah, I suppose it's difficult, isn't it, when you suddenly get lots more work, trying to find the right people as well to do it is the challenge, isn't it? It was a nice challenge, I suppose. It's better than not having the work there to begin with, but it's still something that many businesses have to struggle with, don't they, if they go through a period of rapid growth.
Yes.
So there you are. You've been recognised as one of the leading, if not the leading, young entrepreneur. 16 staff. Now at that point, was it just domestic cleaning at that point?
It was just domestic cleaning, yeah.
So when did you make the jump into the bigger premises, commercial and industrial?
So I then I was actually cleaning for a director's home. And he said, you want to come and clean my office because my cleaners aren't getting it right and I want you guys to come and do it. And actually, again, he believed in me. He gave me that opportunity. So every evening, I'd then go to their offices, which was about a 3-story block of offices with about 40 people in it at the time. And I then clean in the evenings, and I do exactly the same thing as I did with domestic. I train the staff up beside me, and then I did that. And then after that, I then started to look at, this is definitely a model I need to go down, because the commercial market, from a scale point of view, is easier to scale. And yeah, that's when we started really pushing the commercial market then.
You've expanded your reach. You're across South Wales and across the water,
yes.
to Bristol as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned 250 staff. Have you found you've had to get them to specialise? I mean, I know some of your clients are industrial and manufacturing.
Yes,
is that a more specialised side of the business then?
Yeah, it's... to be honest, one of my passions is to change the perception of the cleaning market and to challenge people, because I think the cleaners are overlooked. I felt it when I was cleaning, but actually it's first impressions. It's first impressions of how you make your clients feel and how your your staff are in these places that we clean as well. And it has a huge impact on the culture of an organisation if it's clean. And there's lots of facts around it and very, passionate about it. But it's very specialised. To clean a manufacturing plant's floor is very, very different to cleaning, a 6-storey office in Cardiff Bay. That's the solicitors or something. And also the same as the medical sector as well. Education is a market that we're breaking into now as well. Cleaning large high schools. Again, there's lots of different techniques and smarter ways to clean schools and all these premises now as well. And that's what I love the most, is the innovation and really trying to, even by bringing software into the cleaning market can have a huge impact as well on lean working.
That's interesting, because one of the advantages of your line of business is you can't have a house or a premises cleaned online. You've got to have something physically there to do it. But you mentioned software. And a lot of people will be intrigued at that and say, well, how does software help you in your business?
So behind the scenes, lots of people would think, a cleaning business is a very low startup cost. But how we run this business is like a machine. We have software on our logistics, where our vehicles are. We're tracking where they are on our screens. So we've got 20 vehicles on the road at any time, reacting to any day-to-day issues that may arise, any additional cleaning that needs to be going on, any sickness that happens to those 250 members of staff. We do cleaning academy, so we're running an online and offline cleaning academy as well, which is quite American, which is really going really well. And this year, it's one of our routes to really grow our managers of the future through this program that we're doing. We, obviously, everybody's got a CRM system, but we track where they've logged in, where they've logged out.
You have to explain CRM to people, I suspect.
So basically it's a database where all of your clients and your staff members are held, sort of the important pieces of data on them. But what we also do is we track where the cleaners are individually. So those 250 members of staff, we know at any time because they GPS track to the building. So that's a piece of software that we've got as well, because that also means we are looking after them on lone working. But also we can, if that place hasn't been cleaned, we have alerts then to say that Barbara hasn't clocked in. So then the area managers can follow that up and look at that. So it means no downtime then, and preventing, being proactive rather than reactive for our clients as well. So there's lots of things behind the scenes, how we do it, even down to our recruiting as well. Like we've got to recruit 130 people this year as part of our growth plan. So there's a lot of software behind that as well.
And how easy is it to recruit people?
Easy to recruit anybody, but the
right people.
So the caliber of people that we're looking for, we're very interested in, again, changing the perception of the cleaning market. Also means bringing people that haven't necessarily thought of cleaning or cleaning supervisors or being a cleaning manager, and how can we use skills from another type of background, and how we can immerse them into our business as well. So we hire on behaviours more than anything. We can teach the skill because we've got the cleaning academy, but the behaviours is the most important area that we focus on, and we do behavioural tests and things as well now, because it's key. You're only as good as your people.
You mentioned earlier on that you've got 250 employees.
Yeah.
Can you give us an idea of the scale of the business now and how big it is?
The last couple of years, I've had 2 children, so we haven't necessarily been, going for growth. It's been more of, testing our processes, our systems, really, really refining what we need to get our foundations to be really strong for the next stage of growth. So we sold our domestic side of the business 1.5 years ago now. So we're a fully operating commercial and industrial cleaning business. 250 staff, most of them are full time as well. And we're 3 million, and our growth plan is 8 million. So we've had lots of time recently focusing on our strategy. Making sure the board structure is right as well, because that is a big challenge in itself.
You mentioned there that you'd sold the domestic side.
Yes.
What was the reason for that?
To be honest, it was like running 2 businesses, and for me, it was time to let go of it, because that's where I started, and we were too big. We were too big doing domestic cleaning. It wasn't something that we wanted to franchise. It wasn't something that we wanted to go UK wide on. So really, it was time to let go, and that then gave us capacity in our existing team to then obviously be at this next stage of growth now. So it was a good decision.
So you're at the next stage of growth. You mentioned
Yes.
you want to get up to 8 million.
Yes.
Where next for the business?
So, to be honest, we are massively focusing on the areas that we are serving. We do, lots of different types of business parks. Education is a big area for us this year. Like I said, really focusing on that area. Manufacturing is something we've been doing for years. So we do also like consultancy in that field as well. And that's the type of selling, I suppose, we do, is we educate, not, the normal type of sale. And where next for us is upselling to our existing clients, ensuring that our business parks that we are serving, that we're also serving the offices opposite to the side of us, and how do we get that market share in the areas that we're serving in, especially in Bristol and Wales, and that's going well. We've got a sales team, but to be honest, we get a lot of work from referrals, and also staff members. Our cleaners do lots of work for us as well on promoting us, which is positive.
You mentioned that you've had 2 children.
Yes.
Always difficult to balance career and family.
Yeah, nightmare.
And how did you, inevitably, being a mum, that, as a mum, but I've been there as a parent myself, it can be quite difficult sometimes to juggle things, can't it?
Yeah.
How did you manage? How did you find it?
I think learning from mistakes is obviously the biggest thing. I mean, half of the time, mums are winging it, and that's the same with me. Making sure things like are in your calendar. I mean, I work Mondays to Thursdays in the business, so I have Fridays off for the children because they're so young. I've got a 10-month-old and a 3-year-old.
Right.
So I am very much, I'm probably out to the survival stage, but I've definitely been in the survival stage. But really, it's made me work really smart, because I know now the impact that I can have on my team and for myself in the business. And it's also questioned me if I'm doing something I maybe shouldn't be doing, because my time is more valuable. And obviously I want to spend time with my family. And, I've been there, done it, crying on the end of the bed. How am I gonna do it? Sleepless nights. The usual things
better,
that mums have to do. Yeah, I'm kind of like getting out that little stage, the first stage a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, it's challenging. It's really, really challenging. But I think, for me, it's making sure that, I do have that downtime as well.
They grow up very quickly, believe me, right? And then the big thing is when you can leave them in the house. on their own, and then leave them overnight in the house on their own, and the house is still intact when you come back.
That sounds amazing.
And then eventually they come and pick you up from the pub. It's incredible, really.
Right.
It all seems to happen. It all seems to happen very, very quickly. So yeah, it's
handy.
Yeah, make the most of it.
Yeah.
My kids only ever knew me as a minister in government, so I'd go days when I didn't see them.
Yeah.
Because I'd be back late at night and I'd be in bed, and you don't get that time back.
Yeah, and without putting the female hat on, I do think it is challenging being a female director, because obviously I've got those responsibilities in work, but then I'm also a mum, I'm a wife, I want to be the best there I can, but sometimes something's got to drop, it's life, isn't it? But yeah, winging it is what I'm mostly doing all the time.
Aren't we all? Don't worry about it. Aren't we all? But see, wing it successfully, it seems to be. So what next for Rachael Flanagan?
So I'm definitely dedicated to the business for the next 3 to 5 years for our growth plan. I'm, acquisitions for Mrs. Bouquet is definitely something that we're looking at. Obviously, as part of our growth plan. For me, it's just, how can I also help other businesses? I'm really passionate about business. Takeaway cleaning. What I absolutely love is the business model. And I'm always, one of those that, likes to improve, work on things. And the growth and the strategy is what I love the most. And seeing my team grow on the way. Like 2 of my guys in my management team have been cleaners. And now they're sitting on our management teams, they're running over £1 million accounts, and looking after their own P&Ls, and that to me is really inspirational to sort of see that, and I want more of that as well in the cleaning market. I think there's so many amazing people that sometimes is overlooked, and you've just got to spot them sometimes because they don't believe in themselves, but you've got to show them the way. So I'd like to focus more on that with the business. And then I also run for Swansea, this is Business and Bites, which is it's a monthly networking group for learning more than anything, for innovative entrepreneurs. I brought it to Swansea because when I had the kids, to be honest, I was travelling to like London and all over the place to learn and connect, and I love learning. But with Business and Bites, it frustrated me that there wasn't that sort of, even a small learning hub that I could go monthly and hang around with like-minded people. So I just thought, well, actually, I'll create it myself. So Business and Bites is for that. So we have about 50 people that come on a monthly basis, and we concentrate mostly on learning, but now people have got really strong relationships and they're doing business together and things, so yeah, it's exciting.
One thing you said there that interested me, you said you're looking for acquisitions.
Yes.
One of the issues we get, I think, more of in Wales than anywhere else, is people will build a business up to a certain size, sell it. And you can understand why they would do that.
Yeah.
But it seems to me, listening to you, that's, in fact, you're looking to be an acquirer, not somebody who sells a business. Yeah,
so definitely in our growth stage now, we are, we're looking for the market share, basically. We're looking to dominate the market, get as many contracts that we can, which complements what we do. I mean, we're quite particular, to be honest. We don't just say yes to everybody. And it's aligning our values with their values and making sure that we can be a partnership. So yeah, acquiring, adding on additional services for our clients so we can add more value to them is something that we're really interested in doing more of. We do quite a bit at the moment, but growing that side as well. And yeah, see where it goes.
Final question from me.
Okay.
I ask all my guests this. If you had a choice, what would you like Wales to look like in 10 years' time? What do you think we need more of? And you mentioned it on confidence, didn't you? Quite often we get people don't have the confidence in the same way as they do sometimes elsewhere, even though they've got the talent.
Yes, yeah. I think it's good, that we can believe in ourselves and push ourselves and put ourselves out there. it would be nice to see Wales doing more of that. I do think it is definitely improving, but in other areas as well as the capital, it would be good to see that. I mean, for me personally, even through Business and Bites, I can see people are starting up their own businesses more and more of, because they want that lifestyle. So I think that's something that Wales is definitely going to probably see a lot more of that over the next 10 years. And I would just love to see Wales be more of a business hub and you know, be really proud of that. Because if we think of how amazing like the Gower is, like if we're just talking about my area where I live now, Swansea, sometimes I find it is quite difficult to recruit. But, you know, I think with what Swansea University is doing, you know, and making people want to stay in Swansea and thrive and grow with, you know, inspirational and innovative businesses, I think is going to be the way forward, because they'll also have that lifestyle balance as well, which you don't tend to get in, you know, other major cities outside of Wales. And I just think, you know, we're in a really special place and we should blink and shout about it more as well.
Yeah, Swansea's changed. I worked in Swansea for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
In the 90s, and nothing changed there, really.
Yeah.
Nothing, I mean, it was just, this, you know, you didn't get much new coming into Swansea. Now, it's changed completely. You know, SA1 sparked it, and then with the city centre and what's been done there now with the new arena, I mean, that would have been a pipe dream back in the 90s. You know, Swansea's really, it seems to me, and I was... you know, I know Swansea well. I was born in Morriston, and you know, lived in the city and worked in the city for a long time. And it's a different place now, more confident place, I think, as well. Yes,
more confident. I still think, you know, we've got a long way to go. But again, you know, really trying to think of, you know, our business parks where, you know, making sure that we are building the right office and environments and hubs for businesses to actually be attracted to work there as well, I think is something that would be good to see over this next 5 to 10 years as well. But it's definitely improving. And I think, you know, it's a special place, Swansea is. And, you know, Wales in general is as well. But, you know, I'm a Swansea girl, so I want to support my Swansea city.
Well, I'm not going to ask you to sing the whole words of Swansea Town, famous song. But, no, well, Rachel, it's been a great pleasure to have you on. It's always very refreshing to have somebody with such enthusiasm and drive, and you've demonstrated that to us, of course, in the course of the interview. So, best of luck for the future.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.